Welcome to Type C Tech Reviews. Today I'm doing an unboxing of the Eve Spectrum, the 4K 144Hz version. And as always, if you want to check out this exact same monitor, there's links below, but let's jump into the unboxing. All right, so the first thing to go over is the panel just comes by itself, and you can actually choose to buy the stand with it, which I think is like $100, so pretty premium stand. Although the panel itself is extraordinarily heavy, so let's get that unboxed. I think the only thing that would come close to being this heavy, but that's including the stand, would be the Alienware 360Hz monitor that I reviewed quite a while ago. Fastest monitor in the world, or the fastest refresh rate. That one was pretty heavy, but that had the stand with it. This is probably the heaviest monitor just by itself. Now overall, the packaging is very pretty. We're going to open it up this way. Very cool packaging. Wow, I like it. Okay, so in here we have plug and play, find your power cable here. I like that. Power up, find your adapter here. Very cool. And then how does this? Yeah, okay. Wow, cool packaging. So then in here, I think we're going to have the adapter, which we do have right there. It's a nice looking one. Yeah, a pretty big power brick, but again, this is a 4K 144Hz monitor, so I would expect that. And then the other side, cable's actually just in there. Nice long one. I do appreciate that. All right, and then the monitor itself, which just the plastic looks really nice and premium. Yeah, I love the matte black plastic. Yeah, let's open up the stand so we can get this on the actual stand. So the monitor stand opens up very similarly to the actual monitor itself, and this is pretty heavy. Hopefully this is a snap-in, but I assume for the price it will be a snap-in. Wow, a very cool monitor. That is a solid piece of metal. So that's why it's $100. You're getting quality here. Yeah, this is a solid piece of metal, nice cable. All of this part, it looks like plastic. That's solid metal. Wow, really awesome. And it looks like this is a lock-in, so very, very nice, very cool. Let's put the base on, which I think is gonna be right there. And again, solid piece of metal. Wow, I really like this. I can see why it's $100. Although that is still pretty expensive. Again, on the bottom, thumb screw, very similar to LG. I don't know how much LG actually has to do with this monitor because I don't know if you know, but the panel, the actual panel, the IPS panel that they use is created by LG or sourced by LG. Huge rubber pads on the bottom right here, and overall just a really nice looking stand. Let's get this thing onto the monitor, line it with the top, and then snap it in. So I guess you can put it in that way. All right, and then bringing this thing up. Very hyped up monitor, but is it still worth it with the new LG GP950 coming out or already being out? Is this still gonna be worth it? But overall, very pretty display without seeing it actually on so far. This thing is really heavy. The panel itself is quite heavy. The stand is actually very, very pretty. I love this stand. It obviously has height adjustability, quite a lot of tilt, feels very good. It does have rotation with a little bit of locking kind of in there, so it'll snap back into place kind of right there, but no swivel. And I would say for $100 to buy a stand, I would have liked to have all of them. Even though I don't care about swivel, you're actually paying extra for the stand, but yeah, I mean, the monitor looks beautiful. There is a little LED right there. Let's turn this around. We've got a display port, 2 HDMIs, which are HDMI 2.1. Then on the side, we have a 3.5mm audio out. We have 2 USB Type A's and a USB Type C that can actually provide, I think, 95 watts of charging, something like that. And then a single joystick on the back, which actually feels quite nice. It's a little bit rubberized. And then I assume a power button right there. So I like the controls. I wish they would have put it on the bottom like LG, but yeah, much better. It seems like much better controls than a lot of other companies, so they're doing that right. But let's get it plugged in, hooked up, and then let's do the initial impressions of turning it on, and then we're gonna do a gaming test and a ghosting test. All right, now it's all hooked up. I will say a little thing that Scepter does, as well as obviously the Eve Spectrum. These stands are awesome. The minimalistic thing is really great, but honestly, how are you ever supposed to hide the cables behind this? It's just not a good design unless you're literally routing the cables through the wall, but I don't think many people are gonna be doing that. So honestly, I like this stand, I think it's pretty, but these minimalistic stands need to go because cables will not be able to be hidden behind those easily or at all. I think that's crazy. Well, whatever, let's turn this thing on because if the display is nice enough, who cares? We'll just put it on a monitor arm anyway. So turning it on, I think it's supposed to have 650 nits, which is nuts. You have the little Spectrum or the Eve logo very quickly. And wow, very vibrant. Right off the bat, very pretty. I'm gonna go into the menu system just to see, okay, the menu system definitely needs some work. It looks like it's kind of like low resolution right now, but it looks like it is 4K at 144 hertz. You can see there both HDMIs are HDMI 2.1. There are actually more ports down here. This thing is loaded with ports, which is very cool. You have some crosshairs, frame rate counter. You have presets, which is cool. Brightness, contrast, sharpness, color space. It's on the DCI-P3 color space right now. Obviously a natively 10-bit panel. Response time, overdrive setting, adaptive sync, low latency mode, all that stuff. A lot of good stuff. We're gonna go into the display settings first in the NVIDIA control panel and see if this thing is doing 4K. It is natively. We're gonna change that to 10 bits of color right there. All right, now let's go back into the menu. Let's go down to picture, and then we're going to, so you can choose between the DCI-P3 color space and the sRGB color space. We're gonna keep with the DCI-P3, obviously. We're gonna go to brightness. It's currently at 50%, and let's turn that up all the way to 100%. I will say the controls of the menu system are very strange and definitely need to be updated. When you click in, it just like ends everything. So it actually, you go into something, and then, so like for brightness, and then you go up or down. That's just kind of weird. So, but yeah, overall, wow, beautiful, high refresh rate, 4K, just looks really good. Now, I will say, and this is not a dig at the Spectrum at all, but these panels really need to be 32 inches, especially if they're 4K. Just please make a 32-inch 4K panel, LG and EVE Spectrum with your next iteration. Now, I will say, the bezels are really small, smaller than most of LG's panels. I mean, these things are tiny. This is like using a Dell XPS tiny. I mean, they are seriously small. No branding down here, which I really like. But yeah, I'm impressed so far. The panel looks absolutely beautiful. Let's launch into game and see how this thing games. All right, guys, dropping in. Wow, resolution just looks beautiful. I mean, things are just crystal clear. Just absolutely crystal clear. Sniping, way different because of that resolution. I'm typically gaming on 27-inch 1440p panels. The 4K, I can tell I'm dropping frames already, so you're gonna need a 3080 or a 3090 like me, and even on max settings, I can definitely tell that I am dropping frames. Probably 75 frames, but super vibrant, just a beautiful display overall. Yeah, wow. The resolution is absolutely nuts, although I really do wish that this was available in a 32-inch version, because I think it would be even better then. But yeah, I mean, the vibrancy is great. It uses the DCI-P3 color space. You can change that between sRGB and DCI-P3 in the actual settings. I mean, it's literally like you can just see everything. Definitely a high PPI. Which is just very nice, especially actually for something like Warzone. But again, if you can actually hit those frames, because it's tough to hit a frame rate that's 144 hertz. It's definitely tough to hit high frames. So you're gonna need probably one of the best graphic cards available. I'm running a 3080 and mostly maxed out graphics. I think I'm probably hitting 144 hertz now. But yeah, what we're gonna find out through the actual review process, because again, remember, this is just first initial gaming impressions and the unboxing, is this worth it over the LG competitor, the 950 GP, the new one that has already come out. It's low stock everywhere, but it is actually out. Should you buy this one or that one? I haven't used the other one, so this is the only one I've used so far. But we're gonna have to look at the price comparison, definitely between the two. But yeah, gaming on it is actually amazing. I wasn't saying anything like screen tearing. The colors were beautiful and vibrant, and that resolution is just awesome. But let's do the ghosting test, and then go subscribe below for the full review. All right, so looking at this pretty closely, this is an IPS panel, and really not seeing basically any ghosting. Pretty typical for a high-end IPS panel like this. We're really not seeing much ghosting at all. But let's go into here. Let's go down to performance. Response time is currently in normal. Let's go to high, and then user defined. Now, going from normal to high causes a little bit of pixel overshooting or inverse ghosting, which we definitely don't want. User defined looks like it has a little bit of pixel overshooting, which looks like something that you can actually control yourself. So yeah, it looks like the one to set it in is normal. It has a very, very minuscule amount of ghosting, which is really good. But yeah, that is the unboxing of the Eve Spectrum 4K 144 Hz gaming monitor. Absolutely awesome. But again, my full review will be coming soon. I'll have linked below this monitor and the GP, the 4K version, basically the competitor, a very similar panel, if not the same panel that's tweaked by LG. I'll also link that below if you want to check that out. But definitely subscribe for my full review on this, because this was just the initial impressions and unboxing. But this was Type C Tech Reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next video.